There are 162 different roller coasters currently operating at a Six Flags theme park, but which ones are the best? Well, I narrowed down the 10 what I call the best roller coasters that are located at a Six Flags park. To start things off, let's talk about the roller coasters that did not quite make the top 10. The honorable mentions. First up is Wonder Woman at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And if you thought the Jersey Devil at Great Adventure was good, then you really need to make it out to Magic Mountain and give Wonder Woman a try. Now, while they offer pretty much the same layout, this one is far superior in just about every aspect of the ride. Nitro, Six Flags Great Adventure. Floating airtime galore, and how it just dominates that half of Great Adventure. Mr. Freeze, located at Six Flags Over Texas and St. Louis. Now this is a very underrated coaster. I really do love these premier launch coasters, and it's just a shame that there are only 2 of these built. You can find these next 2 honorable mentions down at Six Flags Mexico. The first one is the Morgan Hypercoaster called Superman El Aumento Escape. And with the height of 219 feet and a drop of 205 feet, this hypercoaster, I've heard, is one of the best in the chain. This beautiful park, located just outside of Mexico City, is also home to Medusa Steel Coaster, which happens to be the first RMC coaster to feature the barrel roll down drop. This 3,000 foot long hybrid coaster really needs to be on everyone's bucket list. Now, before I start the top 10, be sure to let me know how many of these roller coasters that you have ridden when you finish the video, because I really want to know. And now for the last honorable mention, and that would be the New Texas Giant, located at Six Flags Over Texas. Now, while it was the first ever roller coaster from RMC, the New Texas Giant is far from the best roller coaster out there, but it delivers a great ride every time. Number 10, King Ka, Six Flags Great Adventure. The shortest coaster, duration-wise, on this top 10 does not stop King Ka from being one of the 10 best roller coasters that you can find at a Six Flags park. King Ka offers by far the most intense launch on any roller coaster here in America, and the views that you get from the top of the 456 foot tall top hat are enough to have this coaster be in the top 10. Not to mention, but riders reach a speed of 128 miles an hour when they're riding Ka. This Intamin Strata coaster is a very intense ride from start to finish, and I'm just glad that it's still in operation for now. Number 9, Goliath, Six Flags Great America. I feel like this RMC wooden coaster gets slept on way too much. And I do admit that the layout is very short, but just like Iron Gwazi, every element on Goliath is just about perfect. So that has to make up for this 165 foot tall wooden coaster. Goliath has always stood out to me ever since it was built in 2014 because of its insane looking truss lift hill. It's just pure insane to me. And there's not much to not like about Goliath, and that stall. I promise you, it will be one of your favorite roller coaster elements that you've ever experienced. Mark my words. Number 8, Goliath, located at Six Flags New England. Yes, a Vekoma giant inverted boomerang. Actually, I'm just joking, of course, because that ride was basically a pile of crap. Anyways, number 8, Goliath, located at Six Flags Over Georgia. This is what most people call the world's second best B&M Hyper, at least here in America. That is how good Goliath really is. Now, I have been riding over Georgia's largest roller coaster since it opened in 2006, and I love every moment of airtime and every element. Something that I do not think Goliath gets enough credit for is the uniqueness of its layout. Since this roller coaster is located in the center of the park and offers half of the layout outside the actual park, one thing for sure is you will never ride a hypercoaster quite like Goliath. Now, another interesting piece about Goliath is the coaster's largest drop is actually the second drop of the ride. Now it's time to raise the intensity with these next few coasters. Number 7, Wonder Woman, located at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. If you have ridden the world's first RMC single roller coaster, then you have a good feeling that this coaster isn't really right, but not right in a very good way. Wonder Woman is so intense and travels through its layout at an alarming speed that leaves riders really craving more. Seriously, I think it's like 30 seconds from the top of the first drop to the brake run. It's crazy intense all the way through. And by far, Wonder Woman is the most intense roller coaster that you can find at a Six Flags park. Number 6. Superman the Ride, located at Six Flags, New England. When you ride New England's tallest, longest, and fastest roller coaster, you'll notice a little rattle and some uncomfortable restraints. But please do not let that stop you from really loving this intimate hyper. Superman the Ride offers just a beauty of a layout, and even though the coaster opened in 2000, it still offers some of the best airtime moments that you can find on any roller coaster in the entire world. Number 5. Iron Rattler, located at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. This placement might shock some of you, but Iron Rattler really does deserve to be talked about as a top 5 coaster within the Six Flags chain. Now just imagine if this coaster was a little bit longer and offered a few elements after that tunnel. It really makes you think, and honestly, what would stop Iron Rattler from being the best coaster within the Six Flags chain if its layout offered more? From the setting to the amazing drops off the quarry wall, Iron Rattler is definitely a top tier RMC. Riding Rattler in the very back row is what I definitely recommend, as you're going to experience some great ejector airtime as soon as you get pulled down the drops. But some would argue that Iron Rattler's best element is the 0G roll the coaster offers. Seriously, this coaster is so good, so get out the Fiesta and ride it. Number 4. Twisted Colossus, located at Six Flags Magic Mountain. The second best RMC coaster that you can find at a Six Flags park is also the only Mobius one in the world. When dueling, you are experiencing one of the best roller coaster rides on the planet. And the fact that Twisted Colossus is kind of like 2 coasters built in one is even better. This roller coaster is full of quirkiness, and I love everything about it, except when you don't duel, which seems to happen way too often, and the second lift hill. It's kind of a buzzkill. But let's talk about the stall and the 0G roll. 2 elements with excellent pacing and tons of head choppers. Really stands out as the highlight for me for Twisted Colossus. Now this next one's gonna shock a lot of you. Heading back to Six Flags New England for number 3, Wicked Cyclone. And all I have to say is, size is not everything. While Wicked Cyclone is not very tall, long, or fast, it does offer an action-packed ride from the moment the train leaves the lift hill to the time it hits the final brake run. I cannot recommend getting a night ride on Wicked Cyclone enough. Seriously, this coaster hauls during the later hours, and that alone has really helped this coaster skyrocket up in my own personal top 25 rankings. And if you want to see how I rank my top 25 coasters, then you can find the link for that video in the description. Now before you find out the top 2 best roller coasters located at a Six Flags park, I wanted to tell you about this video real quick. If you're like me and love the history of roller coaster installations at the Six Flags parks, then this video is right up your alley, because I rank each year from the year 2000 through 2020 of coaster installations for the Six Flags chain. So definitely check out this video. Trust me, you'll be amazed at how aggressive Six Flags used to be. Number 2. X2, located at the one and only Magic Mountain. Now this roller coaster will have the biggest thrill seekers nervous before they ride it for the first time. X2 opened in 2002 and is still so unique that you can only find 3 of these rides like this in the entire world. X2 is usually ranked very high in rankings among coaster enthusiasts, and rightfully so. While not the smoothest roller coaster out there, aerodynamics really went out with a bang when they designed X2. This roller coaster offers one of the most surreal first drops ever, and mix that in with the inversions and other elements the ride offers, all while your seats rotate and flip, make X2 an experience that you really need to have. And now it's time for the best roller coaster that you can find at a Six Flags theme park. Number 1. El Toro, Six Flags Great Adventure. Intamin really blessed us with this amazing prefab wooden roller coaster creation when it opened in 2006. If you love a good first drop, out of your seat airtime, a smooth wooden roller coaster, a cable lift, and a very out of your seat ride experience, then El Toro is right up your alley. Now, unfortunately, over the last few years, El Toro has had a pretty rocky time, but the park is planning on reopening their best roller coaster and my favorite wooden coaster that I've ever been on in 2023. So that is how I rank the top 10 best roller coasters that you can find at a Six Flags theme park as of 2023. Now, I want to know, what are your favorite roller coasters at a Six Flags park? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.